commands. So I'm going to go over all the basic Unix commands, and in going forward next tutorials I'll be going through the shell scripting. So this is the basics of Unix commands. So let's start. So commands, using command lines you can get more control over the system. You can do many things like giving permissions to a directory, creating new users, changing passwords, and lot of other things. We'll cover those in the next slides. Okay. And Linux and Unix environment has too many commands. Actually many commands. We will see all the basics commands which you use in your daily use. Okay. So I'm using a Mac, and in Mac it provides a terminal which you can search it from the spotlight. You can write terminal and you can start using it. For Windows system you can install Cygwin for running these Unix commands, and for Unix you will get a shell to run those commands in. Okay, so commands structure. So Linux and Unix, actually all the commands consists of three parts. First is the command. After that it has command options, and you can provide arguments to a command. Okay, just to give you an example, if I go to my terminal window, okay, uh, so a command, I'll use a command called ls. Ls is just to list all the files and directories inside a directory. So if I do ls enter, so you see there are a couple of folders and files inside a folder called tutorial. So it lists all the files and folders present in that tutorial folder. Okay, so that's the command. Now if I use ls minus l is the option which I am giving to ls command. Okay, so ls is the list command, minus l is the long listing of the file. So if I do that, you will see a couple of more data or the output provided by ls minus l. Okay, so that's called the option. I'm not going to go into the details what the output was because I'm going to take that in the later portion of the tutorial. Okay, and the third part of a command is called as argument. So if I do ls, that's the command, minus l is the option, and just to let you know, you can provide different options to there are multiple options you can provide. So if I do minus l, after that I can do minus t. I'll show you what that will give is. So if I do that, so it lists the file which was latest with the latest timestamp at the top. Okay, so I have provided two different options to ls command. Okay, so ls minus l, and the third part of the command was an argument. If I just want to see the details of this tutorial.txt, so I can just say tutorial.txt. So it will give only details about that tutorial.txt. So ls is the command, minus l is the option, and tutorial.txt is the argument which I have passed to that ls command. So most of the Unix commands will follow the same structure. So the syntax kind of remains same for most of the Unix commands. Okay. Okay. So moving forward, piping and redirection. So before using going into the Unix commands, I'm going to go through these two very important concepts called as piping and redirection. Let's go with piping first. So when you use piping, you can combine the abilities of two or more commands to create a kind of super command that offers even more capabilities. Okay, so to explain that, let me go to the window. So for piping, first to let you know, all the piping happens with this pipe, with the pipe. Okay, so basically what that means is you are going to talk between the two commands. Means if you have two different commands, they are going to talk to each other. That means so the output of one command, you can pass that output to the second command. Okay, so just an example, piping basically helps you to transfer the output of one command, means to give the output of one command to the another command, and it will process that output and it will show you the output. So let's see an example. So ls is a command to list the files. ls minus l, it will give you the long listing. Okay, but if you just want to see the first line what ls actually gives, the first line what ls minus l is going to give you, if you want to just see that, so what you're going to do is you're going to do ls minus l, and the output of that ls minus l you're going to pass to another command called head minus 1. It will show you the first line of that output. So if I use say enter, so okay, so the first line was total, so that gave us the total. Okay, so if I do the same thing ls minus l pipe with head minus 2, it will show you me the first two lines of that output. Okay, so what basic thing is, I'm passing the output of one command into the another command, and it processes that and it shows me the output. So this is one of the very important capability which we should learn. Okay, so in this case you're going to use all those commands together. Whatever we are going to learn, you're going to combine those commands and form a big commands, okay, to do your things. Okay, let me give you another example. Okay, so from this ls minus l, okay, output, if I wanted to see if this has something called as list inside it, okay, so for that what I'm going to do is ls minus l, I can pass the output of ls minus l into a command called as grep. Grep is just to do a string search in the output, so it will do a string search. If that string exists, it will show me that portion of it, so it just shows me that list. Okay, yeah, so going to the next portion, it's called as redirection. So by default, whenever you run any command on the terminal or a shell or a Cygwin, it actually shows the output on the screen. Okay, now if you want to store the output into another file for some other purpose, or to send those data to some other person using mail, okay, so at that place the redirection comes into the picture. So using redirection you can move the output of the command into some file. Okay, so if you use single redirection, that's a greater than symbol on your keyboard. So if you use single redirection, it will store the output of the list command to the file called as sumfile.txt. Okay, and if the sumfile.txt already exists, it will override the contents of that file. Okay, and if you want to append the output of ls minus l in and append the data output of ls minus l, you need to use 2 times that arrow symbol, the greater than symbol. So if you use double re-indicator, it tells the command to append the contents of the file instead of overwriting. Okay, let me show you an example of that. So clear is the command to clear the screen, so it just clears the screen. Okay, so what I was saying is to use ls minus l, and I am redirecting the output of ls minus l to the file called as tutorial1.txt. okay, so see, the output of ls minus l is not printed on the screen, it just have been transferred to tutorial1.txt. To see the contents of this file, I can use a cat command. So cat command will display me the output of tutorial1.txt. So this is the output of that file. Okay, now as I said earlier, if I use one of my commands with an argument, so if I use grep list, so this will give me the output only this line. Okay, so if I want to move the output of this into tutorial1.txt, okay, So I'm using a single arrow for redirecting the outputs, displayed on the screen. And if I do again tutorial.txt here,